Hello everyone, in Module 3, Learning Outcome number 6, which is the last one of this module, we're going to be talking about the coronary blood vessels that will supply the blood to the heart tissue itself. As we know, the heart will work continuously, and cardiac muscle cells, they do require reliable supplies of oxygen and nutrients. The coronary circulation will supply the blood to the muscle tissue of the heart. And this coronary circulation includes an extensive network of coronary blood vessels. First, the left and right coronary arteries will originate at the base of the ascending aorta as the first branches of this vessel. Now, blood pressure here is going to be the highest found anywhere in the systemic circuit, and this pressure will ensure a continuous flow of blood to meet the demands of an active cardiac muscle tissue. Let's see the pathway of the right coronary artery first. So as soon as it leaves the heart, it will then travel between the right atrium and the right ventricle, and it will circulate around, going all the way to the posterior side. As we trace the right coronary artery going around the right atrium, you can see that it will start to go down posteriorly. Once it starts to go down posteriorly, it will be called the posterior interventricular artery. Makes sense. It's going to be located in the posterior side between the ventricles, and it's an artery, posterior interventricular artery. Next, let's look at the left coronary artery. As we can see from this image, the left coronary artery is going to exit from the ascending aorta, and it will pass right behind the pulmonary trunk, as we can see over here. Once it passes the pulmonary trunk, it will split into two. The part that goes anteriorly down between the ventricles will be called the anterior interventricular artery, and the other part will go around the left atrium this time, and it will run between the left ventricle and the left atrium. And it will go all the way around, as we can see over here, to the posterior side where it will start to go down and branch out. And these are the main coronary arteries that you need to know. Of course, all these will branch out into smaller blood vessels, but I just want you to know the main ones, which are the left coronary artery, the right coronary artery. The right coronary artery will become the posterior interventricular artery once it starts to go between the ventricles posteriorly. The left coronary artery will split right after the pulmonary trunk into anterior interventricular artery that runs down between the ventricles anteriorly, and the circumflex artery, which will go around circulating the heart all the way to the posterior side where it will start to branch as well. And as expected, these blood vessels, which are arteries, and they are red, they are taking blood rich in oxygen and carbon dioxide because this is the blood that's coming from the left ventricle, remember? So it's supplying oxygen and nutrients to the cells in the heart muscle tissue. Just to make sure that I go over all the coronary arteries for the models that we will see in the lab, let's do a little review. So this would be your right coronary artery leaving on the right side of the heart. It will swing around medially and go all the way to the posterior side. Once it gets to the posterior side, it starts to come down and becomes the posterior interventricular artery, as this is your right ventricle and this is your left ventricle. On this other image, we can see the right coronary artery as well. And then once it comes down, it becomes the posterior interventricular artery. With regards to the left coronary artery, we can't really see it exiting from the ascending aorta because it comes behind the pulmonary trunk. But once it comes to the front, it will split into the anterior interventricular artery between the left ventricle and right ventricle. And the other branch will give rise to the circumflex artery. We can see it here as well, going around. And then once it comes to the posterior side, it starts to go down and then receives a different terminology. So we're only going to focus on the circumflex artery. And these are all the coronary arteries that you need to know of. Now we're going to cover the coronary veins. So these are the blood vessels that will be removing the waste products and the carbon dioxide from the cardiomyocytes. We have a few of them, and they will run parallel to the arteries that we already talked about. First, anteriorly, we have what we call the great cardiac vein, and like the name says, it's going to be huge. It will start anteriorly between the ventricles, so it will run parallel to the anterior interventricular artery, and it will swing around and run parallel to the circumflex artery all the way to the back posteriorly, where it will meet the coronary sinus, which we can see right over here. Now, the coronary sinus is where the blood from all the veins will meet to then drain into the right atrium, into that opening of the coronary sinus that we talked about earlier. The next that you need to know is the middle cardiac vein, which will run parallel to the posterior interventricular artery. So middle cardiac vein together with posterior interventricular artery, and it will bring the blood all the way to the coronary sinus as well. The last one that you need to know is the small cardiac vein. The small cardiac vein, it will swing around behind the inferior vena cava, which is this big blood vessel over here, and then it will start to go down anteriorly in the right atrium. So we can see it, a little bit of it over here, and we can see it going underneath the inferior vena cava, and then it will continue and come down on the right ventricle. And here it should be a continuation of this blood vessel, because it is, all of this is the small cardiac vein. And again, all of them will merge and empty into the coronary sinus that will then take the blood into the right atrium. This blood is filled with carbon dioxide and waste products, and it will enter the right atrium through the opening of the coronary sinus. And just to make sure that I cover all the structures on the models that will be in the lab, let's go over them now. So this would be your great cardiac vein coming anterior. It is parallel to the anterior interventricular artery. Because it's great, it's going to be big, so it's going to go around over here, continue on the lateral side, and go all the way to the posterior. So all of this is your great cardiac vein, and it will meet right over here at the coronary sinus. Posteriorly, we have the middle cardiac vein that will also drain into the coronary sinus, and swinging around below the inferior vena cava. This would be your small cardiac vein. We can see it better over here, and it does come down over here, so here it should be a continuation of this vein coming down on the right ventricle anteriorly. So this would be your right ventricle, and this is your left ventricle, because this is a medial inferior view, and this is the posterior side of the model. And the small cardiac vein will also drain into the coronary sinus, where it will then take the blood inside of the right atrium, like we talked already about. Here we have other models that will show you the same concepts that we talked about. So this is representing your aortic valve. So the blood that's coming from the left ventricle will pass through this valve. We can see that it already gives rise to two arteries. The first one is the right coronary artery that swings to the right side. And the second one is the left coronary artery that's passing behind the pulmonary valve, which belongs to the pulmonary trunk. The left coronary artery will split into two. It will split into the anterior interventricular artery that will run between the ventricles. And then the other part, which is a little bit hard to see over here, but we can see it a little bit better over here on this image, will become the circumflex artery that will travel all the way around the heart, all the way to the posterior side of the heart. Now, the right coronary artery, remember that it goes around between the right atrium and the right ventricle, all the way to the posterior side. And once it starts to go down, it becomes the posterior interventricular artery. So those are your arteries. Now let's talk about your veins. With regards to vein, we have the great cardiac vein that runs parallel to the anterior interventricular artery. It will swing all the way around, and we can see it on a posterior view, how it comes all the way around, and it will end on the coronary sinus. Posteriorly, we also have the middle cardiac vein that will then merge onto the coronary sinus. And we have the small cardiac vein that goes behind the inferior vena cava, and it will continue all the way down into the right ventricle, which is not easy to see on this image. The other thing that I want you to know from this image is when we think about concepts, then it makes a little bit more sense. So this is your ascending aorta. We can see right over here that there is a little opening over here, and this is your right atrium. How do I know that this is the right atrium? Well, I can see the opening to the coronary sinus right over there, and I can also see the fossa ovalis. So therefore, this is the right atrium, and this little blood vessel that's coming off of the ascending aorta would be the opening to the right coronary artery that will then swing around and go all the way to the posterior side of the heart. And here, this little ball, red ball over here, is going to represent the left coronary artery. Remember how I said that the left coronary artery will leave the ascending aorta and pass behind the pulmonary trunk? So this is exactly what we're seeing here. This is your pulmonary trunk. Therefore, this is the left coronary artery that's passing behind the pulmonary trunk. This image is showing you a coronary angiogram where we can see an atherosclerotic coronary artery, meaning that there's a blockage in these arteries, and therefore there's a decrease in the blood flow, which might lead to a myocardial infarction and even death, right? So we can see right over here, your heart is all of this. We can see this would be the valve. Therefore, this is your left coronary artery. We can see right over here, there is a blockage. The left coronary artery will split into the anterior interventricular and the circumflex artery. And we can see a blockage over here on the circumflex artery as well. So this patient here, he's in trouble. If he does not do a coronary angioplasty, which basically is an intervention that will open up these clogged arteries, then he's going to die because there will not be a good enough blood supply to the cardiomyocytes, and they will not be able to function properly.